Well, it's a great question, and I have to tell you that we have an event in Ishikawa Province, Kanazawa City, at the end of this month, where we're going to have what we're calling a seamless transition from the Year of Biodiversity to the Year of Forests. Essentially, what we want to demonstrate at the end of the Year of Biodiversity is that forest biodiversity will continue in 2011, which is the International Year of Forests. And it's a critical part of forests, of anything to do with forests, because as you know, 80% of biodiversity is land-based, and forests play a critical role in that. So unquestionably, we're going to be continuing the story of biodiversity in 2011. And it gives us a great chance to underline the inseparable nature of these two areas.
It has had a measurable impact. In exact percentages of awareness raised, we'll have to wait until the next Nature Barometer in 2011. But we clearly see that it has had an impact on the key decision-maker awareness. And we still have a few days of the International Year left to go. There will be a closing ceremony in Japan, who has taken over the COP presidency for the next 2 years. And at that ceremony on the 18th and 19th of December, we have a joint ceremony with the International Year of Forests to hand over the baton to the Forest 2011 year and make sure that biodiversity continues to be high on the agenda. And I'm also very happy, of course, with everybody else who follows this agenda that the UN General Assembly has just adopted, that this decade will be the decade of biodiversity. So until 2020, we will have the UN Decade on Biodiversity.
Definitely, absolutely. It's a wonderful idea. Because the forest can, the importance and contributions it can make. And as I said earlier, it is very important to focus more on forest. And I think that the declaration of the year 2011 will certainly, make a contribution in that connection.
The focus of that is forest for people. And we feel that since Rio, people have been left out a bit of the equation. There's been a very big emphasis on environment, on all sorts of environmental aspects. And the public, as a general matter, when you ask them about forests, immediately say, are there enough trees left? Or even school kids will express a concern about deforestation. Now, these are all legitimate concerns, but we would like to go broader and explain that there's a positive relationship between forests and people. 1.6 billion people depend on forests for their livelihoods. How do we make these things coexist? So at the same time you're worried about deforestation, you need to know some deforestation is a natural part of the cycle of life, but we need to make sure it's balanced. Hence the idea of sustainable forest management, where you have both use but also complete protection. And the International Year of Forests, we believe, will emphasize that aspect, while, of course, it also recognizes the biodiversity value of forests.
As the conference Secretary General of the Rio+20, I anticipate, and justifiably, that any achievement outcome of the International Year of the Forest will contribute. If not, then at least facilitate, the agreement of the Rio+20. If we could make some progress in the negotiations in this our REDD+ process, I'm sure it will contribute also greatly to the Rio+20, and let's take full advantage of 2011.
Well, as you may know, we're doing a huge amount of collaboration already on a wide range of issues, finance for forests being one of them, which we lead on. But the collaborative partnership on forests is collaborating on a series of issues, reporting, different kinds of implementation, data, communications is another area. We've just created a communication network for the Collaborative Partnership on Forests to put the word out. What's really critical, I think, about the Year of Forests is that the United Nations Forum on Forests was appointed by the Secretary General to be the focal point for the year. But we're just simply using it as a stage, as a platform. Our role is to facilitate and catalyze others to do what they can. So we have both materials to do that, and we also have a website where we can link to anything any of the CPF members are doing, but not only that, any country or any NGO or anyone. So far we've had more than 200 requests for use of the logo, and we have we have allowed for translation of the name International Year of into any language, and so far we have close to 50 languages. So we're very delighted about the response, and essentially we say it's carte blanche. You're free to do whatever you do. Just please celebrate the year, wherever you are. Just celebrate it. Pick up from here and go full bore into International Year of Forests. Please make that year a very, very special year. And the most consistent word I would like to have carried over is celebrate. Celebrate forests. We can always talk about the negatives, but let's share with the public the positives of forests, which are amazing and breathtaking and spectacular and awesome. And we need to tell that story in a different way than we have in the past, so that the public understands it's not just a question of the sky is falling or there's doom and gloom, but it's also a very good story to tell.